Okay, so this is basically what I say to customers when they come to try the coffee. So um, I'll go. Okay, so what's going on here? You see the different processes: wash process, natural process, honey process. What that is, it just describes the different ways that they ferment and dry the coffee. So it's all the same coffee from the same trees, just fermented and dried different ways. Um, in a very dry area like Ethiopia, for example, basically you don't have to do much. You pick the coffee, and with the skin still on, you just leave it, and it'll slowly ferment and dry. We call them raisins when they're dry. It takes weeks, but that's what we call natural process. Um, and then the wash process, that one, when they started growing coffee in wetter areas like Kona, for example, or Jamaica, or anyway, places like that, it's not going to dry like that. So what they do is they get the ripe cherries, they run them through this pulper, remove the skin, all that pulp and the juice goes down into these tanks or pools. They add a little bit of water and they'll let it soak and ferment in that liquid, but just a short time, overnight. The next day, what happens there, the good dense beans will sink, and then all the rubbish floats. They get rid of that and they dry it on those racks. The idea is they're going to ferment it quickly and lightly and dry it quickly. So that's the wash process. Now what the honey process is, it's just a variation of the wash process. There are two things they do differently. One, when they pulp it, the coffee bean, or the seed really, has this slimy little membrane called mucilage. During the wash process, they remove their mucilage, mainly because they want the fermentation to penetrate the coffee. So it's like a little sealed membrane. So anyway, during the wash process, that's removed. But during the honey process, they leave that little slimy layer on there. And then when it goes into the water, they add natural yeast. And basically what it does is it kind of turbocharges the fermentation. It's kind of like brewing wine or something. What they do there is they leave it, actually instead of overnight, they leave it for at least 40 hours. And so it really penetrates the fermentation. The reason we call it honey is not because it's got honey or sweet or anything. It's just a nickname. And what happens is when that sugary pulp mixes with the yeast, it has it comes out of there with this sticky like honey-like paste. And also when it dries, because of that mucilage still on there, it takes on like this golden honey color. The coffee does. Now the difference in the taste, because the wash is fermented lightly and quickly, it's very light body, almost tea-like. But there's a very kind of a delicate taste to it. It's a little bit acidic, but very light-bodied and clean. Then the honey process, it's similar body, a little bit more body, a little thicker, but what you'll notice on that one is the brightness. Because of that extra fermentation, it's got an extra little sparkle on the end of it, you know. Some people refer to that as champagne process. And then the natural, because it's really slow fermentation, very slow dry, the coffee has more body. It's a thicker body coffee. Like you can feel it, feels thicker when you taste it. And at the same time, it's very, very smooth. So that's kind of the differences. So when I talk, to say quickly, when somebody's trying it, I'll say, well, the wash process is very light body and very delicate and bright and clean. The honey process is a little more body, but it has a lot more liveliness to it because of that extra fermentation process. It's has more sparkle, is how I describe it. The natural process, it's a heavier body, thicker coffee. It's bold, but at the same time very smooth.
Okay.